Hi there, and welcome back to this meshing training. So I received a request regarding the ahmed body, and basically the question was how can I extract the feature edges? Now here you have the geometry, and if you recall the ahmed body, when you use surface features in ParaView, okay, you will extract this, but then here you have some difficulties. Also, you're not going to see that this edge. So there are a few techniques, a few tricks. So let me show you. So something important that we have the geometry here and see that we're exporting this surface. So now that I am exporting the single surface, when I use surface features, whatever tool, I will capture everything. Instead, if you get the whole Amit body, you're going to have some problems, some issues here because it's not very easy to capture that. So let me show you how to do that, but also how to split the body in different regions. Okay, so far we do it here. We have things that we do it in onshape or whatever CAD tool you use, and then you export single surfaces. Then when you assemble, you may encounter problems. So here I already exported the STL, the Amit body, and then that single surface. Let's open ParaView, so I don't need to go into Linux. Then you get the STLs, the object files, the edge files, and you can do with that. We know how to use those files in OpenFOAM. So let me open desktop. And here we have the whole body, okay, exactly the same. So this is STL, you can get the OBJ, there is no problem. So the first issue it is that, okay, so let's use feature edges here. So as you go here, recall that in OpenFOAM it is the opposite this angle. I extract the edges and see that in using 10 that there is already a low value. And let's see what we capture here. So see that we capture these edges, but I don't manage to capture these edges there and also this edge there. So if you use the surface, so now I imported the individual surface, and if you apply that same filter there, but filter edges, there you go, problem solved. So basically what you can do is export each single one and then you capture the edges. So that is the easiest way to control. But let's say that, okay, I don't want to do that. I want to try here to extract those edges. So the easiest way will be, or not the easiest way, not to avoid that one I'm saying here, but then the selection will be a little bit tricky. You go in filter edges, select a very low value, and you're going to select the whole triangulation, okay, everything. So now that you have this, you can manually select those edges what you want. Okay, so you can go and select the whole line, but that is a little bit too much. Okay, so here I have another way to do it to save a few clicks. So see that select here, plus means that add to selection, and I want to do interactive selection here. So there, here you have many options. So let me select this, this, this one. And then as you want, you can select in this and go through, but there is a lot of stuff there. So probably also let me see that I want to select this edge there. Top. So these are the visual aids, as you see, they are very important. So let me select here. Okay. Ah, okay, I got it there. Let me see here. I got it there. Okay. So now that I selected extract selection and see that I have my edges there. So now these edges you can save then as OBJ and do the conversion, record the video. Okay, so you have that selection. And now what happened about the other one was the longest one. You can proceed in the same way, but there are too many clicks involved. So what we can do, It is, let me see. Okay, is this one? Okay, I got lost. Okay, so I have, okay, let me add another filter edges, and this one, let me put 3 degrees. And there you go, the second selection. It didn't capture everything, so let me use 2. Okay, 4, a little bit too much, 2.5. Okay, well, you get the idea. Probably then you can do the other selection and get that small part. So this is one way to do it. Now that you have this one, remember that file, save data, and then you can save it as a OBJ format. And that's it. As you see, quite easy. I have to say that uh yeah, as you see, the selection in ParaView is not very friendly. So you can do it with Blender, but Blender is overly complicated. And I guess there are many ways to do things. Okay, so now we address these edges. So I hope it's clear to you now. So remember, save it as OBJ, the BTK format, the new one that you will find in ParaView is not supporting in OpenFOAM. The other question was, okay, you have the geometry. Let me discard everything. But I want to do the selections, different surfaces in ParaView. It's pretty much equivalent to what we just did, but now is the surfaces. It's not very easy here because as you look at the triangulation here, and if you want to do the selection here, it will take a while clicking here and there. But just to show you a shortcut and a little bit the way to do it, in generally speaking. So let me get this view here. And again here, add to the selection. I will use this one, select through. So polygonal. I see that now I selected everything. Same way, extract selection, apply, and there you go. Now this, okay, we haven't modified this geometry, by the way. The surface is still the same triangulation. We're just doing kind of a copy and paste of this file. Actually, now you have that file there, and basically kind of where you have the binary. Okay, but the triangulation, and you are just moving triangle from here and there. Actually. So basically, we selected this, we're okay. And now let's do another extraction, okay? But the other extraction is the other part, no? And that is tricky. So what becomes evident now that I can use invert selection, that is a little bit hidden, no? So as you go here into edit, you have find data, actually here, invert selection. And there you go. Do the same extraction. So there are many tricks now, many things, but they are hidden. So see that now you have these two. And again, you just can export it in here and then assemble your STL. You are not going to have problem, as I mentioned. We haven't modified anything, so everything will be perfectly matching. We only kind of the cut and paste and move from here to here. Okay, and you can do the same with the face select here, where things will become trickier. So at this point will be probably easier to move to Meshmixer. That is what I want to show you. But here, let's say to one point you can do it, okay? But for instance, you want to retriangulate a face, it's not possible, or probably it is possible, but a little bit tricky. So let me show you how to do it now with Meshmixer. So let me click here. It will be this, and it's super easy. So you have the geometry here. Okay, this requires another series of video. Meshmixer is super powerful. Okay. And no, let me view show bam. Objects. So basically what I want to do here is do this similar to what I did in ParaView, but here. So here is much easier. So you have select, and look at that, you have a brush, you can change the size, intensity, and you can select there. So you can just paint and you do your selection. So it's much easier, okay? And there are a few tricks that I want to show you. So for instance, let me go in this view here, and you can do polygonal selection. So the hotkey S for select, and see that I click here, One click here is a polygonal selection, close it, and you select there, and that's all. You have your selection, so as you see, way much easier, and you can create a face group, and now this is a face group. Now you have a region. When you save this file, you're going to have that region, and you can proceed in the same way with the other faces. Okay, so let me show you something as well, that if I go here and edit, you have this option, generate face groups, and automatically will split everything according to an angle as usual. So see that the larger, the less features you get. But in this case, look at that, you always is going to separate these faces. So this is not desirable. You will like to have some single one. So as you put it here, the smaller, the more scenes that you get. Then the threshold, how do you join faces. So feel free to play around. You have also normals there to use. So it's very handy. But in this case, it doesn't matter. It doesn't get the results that we want. So we need to do it manually, and see that manually is quite easy. So see that we select that. Then, for instance, that I selected this face group, I can select again, double click, and it will select everything, and that will be another group. Okay, because now we have different regions, and you can create your second group here, create face group, and there you go. So now let me do another selection here, this and this, and let me put it in another face group. There you go. And now let me do the tricky one, the face, this one. So here I can go and I simply can paint, not pen. Let me go and do a polygonal selection. So select like this. Boom, boom. We'll select there. You have that. And then we have a few missing faces that we can select manually. So say that I go like this, and then you select that, but it's quite easy because here you can deselect, shift, left click, deselect, and you get the idea that this will be a super fast process. Boom, 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 boom. Deselect, deselect. Way much easier than ParaView, right? Deselect, and there you go. Now you create another group, create face group, and now you have this face group, 1 2 3 4 face group, and you are ready to go. So this is how I prepare the geometry. Okay, so when you go file, save as, you can save it as, sorry, it's not save as, it's export, export here, and then you can save it as a obj, or you can save it as stl. So save it as ASCII or OBJ, this format, and all this information will be inside. It will not, I don't recall the default name, then you can change it, but super easy. The final thing, as I mentioned, this requires a completely different because there are a lot of things to do. And by the way, exactly the same that we're doing here, you can do it in Blender. So if you're this Meshmixer works only in Windows. If you are in Linux, okay, you need to find the equivalent, which is Blender, but Blender is super powerful, but easily you get lost in the thousand of options that you have. So probably I receive the request, I will do the video. So I prefer to do all this preparation in Meshmixer if I'm working on Windows. Most of the time I have a Windows computer to do this. What I want to show you here is that, for instance, sometimes you would like to do a retriangulation, just to show you another tool, another option, but that requires another video. So let me select everything, Control A, and see that you have many options here. So feel free to play with the options you have in the video description. The link to the documentation is very powerful. Let me use Remesh. And in this case, well, it will take a while doing the remeshing. I already have it pre-configured. Okay, so be careful. Let me mention, you will have some default values and things will be fast, but then when you play around, you are changing the default options. So if you open a new geometry, it might take a while. But look at that. What we did is a triangulation there. And well, fantastic. You retriangulate the geometry, and that's it. So here, for instance, let me check this one. We'll change the edge size, smaller, larger. You can force to keep the chart edges and so on. So let me cancel here that because here the supports that those are tricky to capture. So let me select this. and this. And I will use this option, separate, a little bit to show you. So I separated. Okay, so I put in a different body. You have those holes there, so I can go here. I have analysis, inspector, and this one will close the holes automatically. And there you have it, a closed body. Then you have the other part there. Then you can merge those together. But just to show you that how I can retriangulate this, so let me select here, edit, remesh, and there you go, force to preserve the edges, and there you go. Much very nice. So some people likes to do this talking about snap, honestly, this style or the other, you have no difference. Okay, so but just to show you that you can do scenes here as well, do the remeshing, and here you go. The smaller the value, the more triangles you get. By the way, scaling here is important, no? So probably you want smaller triangles, scale your geometry to see smaller. But this is quite cool, no? Now all your features, new triangulation, and what makes this powerful is that this is a direct modeling and you have many sculpting tools here just to show you fast. So you can select here and what, let me put some antennas there. Let me add here some arms, and probably I can add, for instance, probably I think I have something here that I can attach. Mm, mm. Okay, well, you get the idea. Okay, so here's a leg. Okay, this is what I wanted to attach. Let me put it. Some legs. And what is cool here, as okay, rotate, dun, dun, dun. It's not rotated for whatever reason. Okay, well, that's that. And it will do the merging there. I think it didn't do it. Yeah, it did the merging. So it's quite cool. Very nice. So here you can do Boolean operations. So probably you know that doing Booleans is not easy and still it's very powerful. Just to show you a little bit, okay? So this is it. I hope I answered the question of whoever asked that. So how to extract in ParaView and also how to do it in Mesh View, create the regions. Okay, so thank you. See you next time. Bye.